Today, I'm joined by Natalie Ruiz, a candidate for Laguna Vista City Council. These conversations are part of our commitment to give voters clear, direct access to the people asking for your vote. Good afternoon, Ms. Ruiz. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Rick. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And also thank you for doing this for, the public's interest. I think it's extremely important, and I thank you for that.
It's our pleasure. Let's get right into question number one. Please, and well, you introduced yourself. Do you have any other information about what you want to do today?
Well, I just want to reiterate again that my familiarity, even though I was born in New Jersey, my familiarity to Rio Grande Valley goes back way, way long to the 1800s when my father's side of the family was settled and became ranchers right here in the Rio Grande Valley. I was baptized in San Benito. So every year of my life has spent time down here in the Rio Grande Valley.
That's amazing. I love history. I love the Valley's history. What experience best prepares you to serve the residents of Laguna Vista?
Well, I have a 50-year career that spans working with New Jersey's second largest law firm, 160 plus attorneys, New Jersey's largest law department in the largest school district of Newark, New Jersey, working with, as a procurement officer, vice president of IT procurement with America's largest domestic bank, JP Morgan Chase, and then also with America's largest international bank, Citigroup, from which I retired. So I believe that that experience and seeing all that kind of diversity and working with a lot of different players, big corporations, small corporations, public, because of the Newark Public Schools, has really given me a very, very good, um, a round experience to actually help a town like Laguna Vista as being part of their town council.
What are the top three issues facing Laguna Vista today?
Well, I think the talk pretty much like goes around infrastructure, that people are concerned about the rapid growth of our community and how are we going to prepare for it and handle it and it is coming, it's here right now. But for me, water issue is very big. But number one on my list, Rick, would be finishing up the projects that this town has received grants for and have started. Let me give you an example. Roloff Park, that grant was given to us by Cameron County Parks Commission, and it sat on a desk for just about 3 years. And now we're starting to see drip, drip, drip of different projects that are going into that park. It needs to get finished. And then we had recently in November, our Community Development Corporation approved a stipend of over $60,000 for a private marina, but that still has yet to be finished. So when you go around this town, you're looking at things and it's sort of like halfway. And I think before we embark on any of these other issues, we need to clean and take care of our house first by finishing up the projects that we have started so that our citizens can realize that we are proactive and we are getting things done. So that would be my priorities.
Good. Here's a question for you. I know a lot of my neighbors feel like growth is coming too quick and too fast and all around us. How should Laguna Vista manage new residential development while protecting its small town character?
It's a challenge, but I think we have a blueprint. It's called the Comprehensive Development Plan, which is part of our home rule charter. And I didn't even know that that existed until Darla Jones actually brought that up at one of her meet and greets. And it's not on the city's website. It's very difficult to get your hands on. But I think that's the Bible, if you will, or the guidebook of how this community should be developed. I think that was on the minds of people who wrote that. And it's supposed to be reviewed and revised every 5 years. So if you look to that as your starting point, your foundation, I think the things that are presented in that plan would be that much needed roadmap. You don't need to recreate the wheel. You just have to take advantage of what you already have, improve it, bring it up to date to what's going on in this community right now. And I think we would be well served by following that.
Okay. So here's another subject that's popular right now, and that's infrastructure concerns.
Mhm.
And they continue to come up, including drainage, streets, water, sewer, and emergency response. What should the town prioritize first?
Well, again, I'm going to go back to that comprehensive plan. And I think we need to really look at that and take an assessment of where the town is right now. And infrastructure, sure, we've had a lot of failures in our aging infrastructure. You can pave streets, but what's under the streets? We've got sinkholes going on. We've had disastrous drainage issues, and keeping fingers crossed, I guess, that we have not had a major storm since Dolly went through here. I think that was 2008. But what are you going to do? Because that day is going to come, and how are you going to be prepared for that? I think that comprehensive plan, and if you get the right professional people to study what our drainage issues are, and to work on the drainage issue that is most important, that you get the most for your efforts to fix, I think that would go a long way, to get us prepared. But I go back to that comprehensive plan. I think that is the roadmap that we should be looking at and assessing where the town is today against that plan.
Okay, good. As we saw in the League of Women Voters at their forum on the 13th of April, residents have raised concerns about transparency, about trust, and about communications from Town Hall. Ms. Ruiz, what specific changes would you support?
It's all about communication. And I noticed that you skipped over question one about, why did you decide to get in this race? I can actually give you the month and the year that made my decision. It was October of 2023, when by rumor, the town was finding out that our UTRGV healthcare clinic, which had been in this town, accessible healthcare in this town, had been here for 5 years, and only through the gossip chain on Nextdoor did a rumor surface in October of 2023 that the clinic was closing. Now, hundreds of people used that clinic over that 5-year period, and the town never came out and prepared us as to what was going to happen until a group of citizens put together a meeting of all residents to advise them of what was going to happen with their access to health care. That was the time, and I thought, that's not leadership of a city, especially something so crucial as access to health care. Right here, it had been here for 5 years, and yet we had a city manager that lied. She said that the agreements were all agreed by all the parties, which was totally untrue. And then the residents had to go, looking for information. There was no communication from the city until the rumor surfaced, and it sort of like smoked them out that they had to come out and tell us what was happening. That clinic closed in December, but the community didn't start knowing about it until October of 2023. Communication, communication, communication. These are your people. You're supposed to keep them in the loop. This is their town. Whether it be good news, bad news, or whatever, you must communicate with your constituents. So that's the first thing on my list.
Good.
Transparency and communication.
I'm sorry about skipping question number one. My bad.
No, it's okay.
Wasn't intentional. So what town programs, the programs in town, the services, the projects that are going out, do you believe are working well and should continue?
We have a jewel in the crown, and that is called the Laguna Vista Library. I think that is the most organized, well run, program wise, communication wise, activity wise, learning wise. And we, last year, with last year's budget, the the community was up in a roar about proposed cuts to that. That program is the program that works for this town and works for everybody. And that is something that I think we need to pay more attention to is amenities and programs that are accessible and will be used by the residents, all the residents of Laguna Vista. And I would really like to see more investment into those types of programs. And again, I think the library is an excellent example of how it could work.
Okay. So on the flip side, then, one thing you believe that current town government has handled poorly.
Communication. If you go to a town council meeting, I'm telling you, you're lucky if you can count 5, maybe 10 residents that go to the meetings. All right. And when you go to the meetings, it seems like you're just watching, like a reel or something. Like decisions have been made. They talk about different things, and you go like, "Oh, I didn't know they were doing that. Oh, I didn't know about that." And then they break for this thing called executive session, and I guess that's the room where the sausage is made, because you're kind of like behind as a resident. You're behind what the city is doing. And the city, I think, through a town council meeting, I think you get more people interested in going to those meetings if you up front were communicating with the community as to what your plans are. What are you doing? What's on the table? What are you looking into? What's working? What's not working? You need to have, and I would love to see it, a groundswell of participation of our citizens into their government. It's not our government; it's their government. So I would go there. Communication, transparency.
Let's say you get elected.
Okay.
What is the first thing or group of things that you want to accomplish in the first 90 days?
The 90-day thing reminds me of the presidential thing. What are you going to do in your first 100 days? I think you have to get in the room first, and you have to assess the state of the union, the state of Laguna Vista. And I think when you go in there, if we are fortunate enough to be elected and trusted by our residents, that we go in and we assess where we are in time. And you're not going to hit a triple, your first time up at bat, although some do, but you're going to look for those gains or those solutions and put yourself in a good position where that 90 days does count for something. And I think that's what I think that's what you really have to do is get in the room and see what the state of our city government is.
Okay. And then the final question number 10. What is one thing you would like voters to understand about you that may not come across in campaign materials or social media?
Well, I think people should know about me that my experience and the types of organizations that I have worked in, you're going to see a lot of diversity. You're going to deal with a lot of different ideas and opinions. And what you have to be is a really good listener, and even more important than that, an effective collaborator. Things get done when all people's opinions, experiences are brought to bear so that you can get to a point that's called yes. And it's a win-win situation for everybody. So collaboration with your colleagues, whether they be pro with you or con with you, that is super important. And I think, no, I do know that my 50 years experience in the type of organizations I work for has put me in that position to be a good and effective collaborator.
Very good. Ms. Ruiz, thank you for your time and sharing your views with the community. Thank you for appearing on South Padre Island News today. Appreciate it very much. And to the audience, thank you for watching SPI News. Be sure to follow us for continued coverage of the Laguna Vista election and all local news across South Padre Island, Port Isabel, and Laguna Vista. Thanks for watching. This is Rick, and this is SPI News.